There we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Faces for Autism Streaming with Love Telethon. I'm Jacob Hackett. As we prepare to wrap up the evening, you have a few more interviews to hear from me, some more music coming up over the next 90 minutes, a couple conversations. Anyway, my next guest tonight is a parent. She works closely with the Little Silver School District. She's a part of New Jersey Partners in Policymaking through Rutgers University with me. We've been in class in September. While I'm on that subject, if any of you would like to join the next class of New Jersey Partners in Policymaking, or if any of you are watching from all across this country, feel free, Google it. Partners in, and then policy making is one word. All 50 states have it. If you feel that your voice should be heard, please do so. Anyway, my next guest tonight is a parent. As I said, she's a child on the autism spectrum. She's here today to talk about advocacy, what she's learned through her years as a parent, and what it's like serving on a school board with a child on the spectrum. And if you're being listened to, please welcome Maria Wood. Maria, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
My first question, as I said in the introduction, just give us a little bit of background on, yourself, why you chose to advocate, what got you involved in partners, because I know this wasn't your first try.
Yes. So I think by nature, I'm an advocate and I have a passion for education. Before I had children, I was a teacher, and I worked in an underserved school. And if I had the choice to teach again, I would absolutely go back to an underserved school because I enjoyed working with those children, I think, more than I would enjoy working anywhere else. So just having the passion for education, I think after having a child who was diagnosed with autism, it kind of led me in the path of advocacy. I wanted to make sure that he got everything he needed and the best support possible. And I wanted the best outcome for him. So that's what kind of led me in that direction.
And as I said in the intro, partners, Maria, I know you'll drive this home too as we prepare to graduate in about a week or, well, in a few weeks. Please, there needs to be more, not only people like myself as self-advocates, but more parents like Maria who were saying, my child deserves the best chance at life possible, because friends, as we know, you only get one chance at life, and you want to make the best, make the most of it and the best of it.
Absolutely. I always say when I first saw this developmental testing scores for my son, I was wondering what was going to happen for his future. They were, very below average. I don't think anything was in the average range when he was going into school, and with the right supports and help and, navigation through the process, he is now mainstreamed 100%, and his scores are all in the average range, some even above average and superior. And I'm not saying that it can happen for everyone, because I don't think that the tests always measure accurately what somebody's capable of. But you could, as long as you're seeing growth, that's what you want. And with the proper supports, growth happens. So, that's also a reason I'm an advocate. I would like to make sure that the schools are providing the proper supports for kids with disabilities in all different aspects. It's so important because those early years are so crucial. They need to really hit it hard so that they could, go forward and live a productive, independent, and fulfilling life.
Exactly, Maria. And just as you heard from my friend Chris Fiacello earlier, he is a child with Down syndrome in the Little Egg Harbor School District. And he actually had to go forth and hire an advocate because he and his wife and his child were not being listened to. He wants his child 100% mainstreamed, and the district wanted him in the MD program or rooms.
Yeah, and sometimes they do that because they need to justify having the room, which can be unfair if your child doesn't have the need for that kind of support. But there are all different reasons that people do that the schools will take that route. And your goal is to advocate for your child for what is appropriate for them at the specific time, and the school's job is to meet them where they are and make sure that they're giving them the proper supports to include them properly.
And and I know you are, and I am a big fan of inclusion. It is so incredibly necessary. Parents, if you're watching this, please, 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 I strongly advise you get involved in inclusion for your child. It can make a world of a difference for your child. Please get your child involved in inclusion.
Yes, I always say that when my son first went into preschool at 3 years old, he was in the MD program in the morning, and then in the afternoon, he would go into the mainstream class, preschool class. And I always said he got more from the afternoon with his peers than he did in the morning. And it's not that the morning wasn't necessary, but he learned more skills that were appropriate for himself and for his age from his peers.
Exactly. And I mean you have the IEP, you have the 504, you have whatever's necessary. But you ultimately at the end of the day you want the child to learn the skills necessary to live his or her most productive life. And eventually he'll be on his own with a family, you know, and it's time to start looking towards that and not looking back.
Right, and giving him the opportunity, and anyone who has a disability, to live a life that is just like everybody else's. They should not be expected to be held back because of a disability.
Yeah, and I've always said that I don't mean to turn the turn the tides, but I will for just a second. Um, Tell us, and I know you've shared the stories with me and partners, some of the challenges you faced as a parent with a child on the spectrum.
Um, One of the things I run into a lot is that people who don't have a child with a disability or have no knowledge of a person with a disability, they really don't know what it all the obstacles that you have to you know hurdle in order to just exist. For example, if my son goes to a camp, and it's gotten less and less over time, and I'm grateful for that. But when he goes to a camp, an email goes before him telling them about who he is so that they understand why he would behave a certain way. Those are things that other parents don't have to do. They just send their kids to camp. And then the more severe the disability, the more obstacles you have to hurdle. So You know, like, for example, if you have a wheelchair, you can't go anywhere that doesn't have an accessibility ramp. And something that the Bog Center made me aware of was the snow, even just the snow. Um, if there's snow on a sidewalk, you can't go anywhere. So just little things like that that people are not aware of. Our school, you know, has pretty much done the right thing by my son. So we're fortunate for that. But, you know, in talking to parents in other districts or kids who have more severe disabilities and require more supports, it is a constant battle, uphill battle. And sometimes you just can't believe what school districts are doing, um, to the parents, to the children. It's unfortunate. And I think part of that has to do with funding. And then the other part of it has to do with awareness of what the right thing to do for people with disabilities is.
Exactly. Sadly, when I went to high school, I went to a regular high school. I was the first main student with a disability. It's a it's a regular high school with a technology background, and they really had no main clue or idea of how to deal with a disability. And let me tell you, I really opened some eyeballs, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, at this point, you know, there just shouldn't be a learning curve anymore. Their disabilities have been around forever, and we should just have the accessibility that we need. We shouldn't be fighting for it still.
Right. And the ADA's been around for God. Think this year's 25, no, 26, 27 years. We should stop fighting and start winning for equality, because I really hate to say that, but hello, it is, today is February 28th, 2022. It is not the 80s, it is not the 70s, it is the 90s. We should be living in today, people.
Yeah, one of my favorite cartoons is the one that shows equality, and then it shows equity, and then it shows justice. So the goal is justice, and equality means everybody gets the same thing, right? So that doesn't always help, because some people need supports and some people don't need supports. Equity, so they have three kids looking over a fence at a softball game, and the fence is like a privacy fence. So the equality cartoon shows three kids on the same size box trying to look over the fence. The kid who was shorter still couldn't see over the fence. The kid who could see over the fence without the box saw even better, and the one who was the middle sized kid, he could almost see over the fence. Then with equality, the kids had different size boxes so that everyone could see over the fence and see the game. And then justice was taking the privacy fence away and having everybody be able to see it at the same level with there. So the ultimate goal is justice, so that everybody is now on the same plane with whatever it was, you know, taken away that was holding them back.
Yeah, and I so agree with that. Not to, I didn't mean to do this, but backtracking just a second. You mentioned the underserved school districts. What is that? In case our watching this, they don't know what an underserved school district is.
That's a school where the socioeconomic status might be lower,
Well, okay,
like the community socioeconomic status might be lower than the average.
oh, okay, I guess like a special services type school.
No, it would be like, you know, they would have special services. It would be a regular kind of a school system. It just maybe would have minority students and people
Oh,
from a
oh,
lower socioeconomic background, or
okay,
people,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. Friends, just a reminder, please, please, please donate. The number is, if you would like to donate, the number's right down the bottom of the screen where Maria is positioned. Please donate. We've had a rough 2 years, as I said in the beginning. I hope to God we're coming out of it. Please, if you can donate $5, donate $5. If you could donate 10, donate 10. If you can donate 500, you do a wonderful thing for these families. We've had a very hard 2 years because of the pandemic. Please, if you can donate, please do so. Thank you. Maria, last question. If you could give any advice for the parents, what would it be?
Learn about advocacy, learn how to best advocate for your child and, you know, where they are so that you know your rights and your child is, gets what they need and gets what they deserve in school, because there are a lot of laws protecting children with disabilities. So start from as early as possible. Don't wait. I always say, you know, as long as a child can tolerate therapies, get them as much as possible during those formative years where their brains are still forming, and you could really manipulate the situation, you know, to give them the best outcome.
Yes, I so agree, because if you start too late, if you start too late, start too early. Well, it's better to start early than late, but if start at the right time, friends. And as I said, please, please donate. These organizations need you. And if you would like more information on the Elizabeth Bond Center, please visit www. or Google it, the Bond Center at Rutgers University. If you would like more information about partners in policymaking in your state or New Jersey, please visit www.thebogcenter. The Bond Center for Developmental Disabilities. Uh, they start taking they start taking classmates or start picking for applications in May. So please, if you're interested, get your application in soon. I know Maria has applied 3 times. I only applied once and got in, but Maria's applied 3 times.
Yes, and the last time I applied, I had mentioned, you know, Jamie said that not to be discouraged because it's very hard to get in. And I said, I understand that. I've had to build my resume for quite some time. And then they finally chose me.
Yeah, that's a lot. 3 times. So friends, parents, if you're interested, I told you how to get involved in Partners. It's one of the most rewarding programs I've ever done. I strongly encourage you to do it. The stories you will learn, the friends you will make, please do it. I don't know what their plan is for September, but please, if it's a lot of work, I'm not denying it there, but please, if you can do it, do it. It is life changing.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And I'm grateful to have been chosen this time to take part in it.
Same here.